Okay, angle properties. You need to know that that box there is a right angle, so that is 90 degrees. You need to know that angles inside a triangle add up to 180. So you're going to do 90 plus 33 is 123. So you've got to do 180, take away 123. You can't take 3 from 0, so you have to borrow from the next column, so that becomes a 7. 2 from 7 is 5, so 57 degrees for that one. Okay, then we've got a parallelogram. Now what you need to know in a parallelogram is that the opposite angles are equal, so that one and that one are the same. So by marking that in, I'm showing that I know that. And now I've got another triangle, so I know they add up to 118. Sorry, 180. So 114 and 27, 141, 180, take away 141, 1 from 10 is 9, 4 from 7 is 3, 39 degrees. So for that one, you got 1 mark for adding those up, 1 mark for your answer of 57. And then for this one, you've got 1 mark for recognizing the 114, and then 1 mark for the correct maths, and 1 mark for the correct answer. Two-stage equation this time. You want to get all your x's on one side, so I want to get rid of that add 5x, which means I have to take it off, which means I have to take it off that side as well. So that side becomes that. Then this side, the 21 is already there. I need to deal with that take 9 by doing the opposite of taking 9, which is adding 9. 8x take 5x is 3x. 21 add 9 is 30. To get the x on its own, I have to do the opposite of timesing 3, which is dividing by 3, which is 10. So marks for that. 1 mark for getting it to that stage. 1 mark to get into that stage, and 1 mark for the answer. Idris comes from a very large family. He has many relatives, all of whom live in Canada, Japan or Wales. 1/5 of his relatives live in Canada, 3/8 of his relatives live in Japan. All 34 of his other relatives live in Wales. How many relatives does Idris have altogether? So 1/5 in Canada plus 3/8 in Japan. So that's Canada, that's Japan. So I can't add those until they are out of the same thing. So the method that people seem to be most comfortable with this is to multiply those together to give the bottom. So you're doing that times that. So they're going to be out of 40. And then it's going to be 5 times 3 for the top one, and 8 times 1 for that one. So to turn them into the equivalent fractions, you multiply the bottom numbers together to give you that, and then you take that and times it by that, shooting up to there, and that times that, shooting up to there. Then you can add them. So out of 40, that comes to 23/40. So the ones that don't live in Wales are 23/40. So the fraction, the rest of them do live in Wales. So to make that at 40 out of 40, it's going to be 2017. Because 17 40ths and 23 40ths make 40 40ths, which is all of them. And I know that that must equal 34. There are 34 of them living in Wales. So now the question is, 34 out of what? Well, 17, if you double it, you get 34. So it's going to be out of 80. So there are going to be 80 of them altogether. So that's quite a tricky one. You're working with equivalent fractions, where first of all you're going to put those out of the same thing, which is out of 40ths. Adding those together gives you the fraction that don't live in Wales. So from that you can work out what fraction do live in Wales, because that's going to add up to 40 out of 40. And then work out what the scale is. Well, to turn it into numbers, we have to double it, so it's 34 out of 80. So there are 80 relatives altogether. Marks for that one. There's one mark for showing that you're going to try and add those together. There's one mark for getting the 23 out of 40. There's one mark for the 17 out of 40, and then there's one mark for the method and the answer of working that final 80 out. So, tricky question. Sanej throws 2 fair dice. He scores a double 1. Calculate the probability of not scoring a double 1. Well, when you throw 2 dice, the total possible outcomes are out of 36. You've got each dice has got 6 numbers on it, and hopefully you can see that out of those there's only one way you can score a double 1 out of 36 possible combinations. So if the chances of you scoring a double 1 is 1 out of 36, the chances of you not scoring a double 1 is going to be 35 out of 36. The tricky thing with that, or the most common wrong answer, would be to have it out of 12. Okay, so that's number 14. So you get a method mark and an answer mark. For the method, it's showing that you've got 1 in 36 chances of getting that. Okay, question 15. Diagram shows a sail. The top part of the sail is a triangle with a perpendicular height of x. So the area of the triangle is 12. So you need to know that to get the area of a triangle, it's a half of the base, which is 6, times the height, which we don't know, equals 12. So half of 6 is 3 times x is 12. So using algebra, x is going to be 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So we can check that now. 4 6s are 24, half of 24 is 12. So x is 4. So if I know that that is 4, then I know that that is 4 as well. Now, the trapezium is one of the few shapes, one of the few bits of information that you're given at the front of your exam paper how to work it out. So you can see here the area is a half A plus B, sum of the parallel sides, times the height. So the area of the trapezium is a half times 6 plus 14 times the height, which we now know is 4. 6 plus 14 is 20 times 4. 20 times 4 is 80. Half of 80 is 40 square meters. So there's 4 marks for that. 1 mark for the method of the area of a triangle. 1 mark for getting x is 4. 1 mark for the method of area of a trapezium. 1 mark for the answer of 40. Okay, number 16. The nth term of a sequence is 5n squared minus 3n. Right, the first 3 terms of the sequence. So to get the sequence, the first term is going to be n equals 1. So that's going to be 5 times 1 squared, take away 3 times 1. 1 squared is 1, 5 times 1, take away 3 is 2. So the first term is 2. To get the second term, we put n as 2. 5 times 2 squared, take away 3 times 2. 2 squared is 4, 5 fours are 20, take away 6 is 14. And then finally, for the third term, n is 3. 3 squared is 9, 5 nines are 45, take away 3 threes and 9 equals 36. Find the 20th term in the sequence. So now n is 20. So it's going to be 4 lots of 20, take away 20 squared, which is 80, take away 400, which is minus 320. Okay, so marks for that: 2, 14, 36. 1 mark for one of them right. Sorry, 1 mark for 2 of them right. 2 marks for all of them right. And for this one, only 1 mark for the final answer. And then question 17, which is the last question on this paper. In a survey, a total of 392 pupils were chosen from years 7, 8 and 9 and asked the following question. What is your favourite sport in this list? The results are summarised in the table below. So, with any table work, what I always suggest is you pick part of the table first of all and make sure you understand it. So if I just pick that cell there with 64 in, that's telling me that 64 kids in year 8 said rugby was their favourite. This one here is telling me that 71 kids in total said swimming was their favourite. This number is telling me that there are 133 kids in year 9. So that's how the table is working. In each of the following parts, a pupil is selected at random. Calculate the probability of selecting a pupil whose favourite sport is swimming. So this is the swimming column. It's all pupils, so 71 out of all pupils said they preferred swimming. So 71, it's a probability, so we've got to give it out of the total, which is 392. Calculate the probability of selecting a year 8 pupil. So year 8 pupils, there are 138 of them out of 392. The pupil selected is in year 8. Calculate the probability that this pupil's favourite sport is cycling. So now we're only interested in the year 8 row. 28 year 8s preferred cycling. So it's 28 out of 138. So 2 more to go. The favourite sport of the selected pupil is football. So 103 selected football. The chances in year 7 is 45 out of the 103. The pupil selected is not in year 8. What's the probability that this pupil's favourite sport is not football? So if he's, not in year 7, so we've got to take this row out. So the number of kids that it's out of is 138 plus 133, which is 271. So it's going to be out of 271, and the favourite sport is not football, means it's one of those 6. So not football will be 64 plus 46 plus 14 plus 34 plus 28 plus 27. So 10, 18, 26, 35, 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7, 10, 21, 215. So the probability will be 215 out of 271. 213 is the actual answer, so I've added up wrongly somewhere. I added this up wrong. 64, 46, 14, 34, 28, 27, 10, 18, 26, 33, yeah. So that should be 213 out of 271. Okay, so the marks for that final question: 1 for C, 1 mark for 28, 1 mark for 138, and then the same for this one: 1 mark for the 45, 1 mark for the 103, and with this final question, one mark for the method of trying to find add the right numbers together, 1 mark for 213, 1 mark for 271. So there you go, that was November 15, paper 1.